Hey, it's Levi. I'm a longtime musician and a part-time DIYer, and today I am building a desk riser. So basically what I plan to do is take this desk, kind of how it is, and I'm gonna put a shelf all the way across the desk and lift that up a little bit higher. That will allow me to get my speakers at a little bit closer to ear level, which is optimal for basically mixing and listening. So here is my plan, and it is fairly simple. I'm basically just gonna have the one board across with 4 support pieces, and I'm gonna connect that to the desk, and the end result should look something like that. So I went to Home Depot and I got a couple of these planks. One of them is big and long like this, another one is a little bit shorter, and that's what I'm going to use to build this riser for my desk. So let's head outside and get started on building this thing. Alright, here we are outside, and I've got the material here on the sawhorses. I'm just gonna measure these out to 6 inches each. Okay, I've got it measured, I got my straight edge set up, I've got my blade ready to go. Let's start this baby. She's working. Alright, let's see if I can still cut straight. What a mission. So now that the pieces are cut to length, I'm gonna remove all my stuff off of my desk so I can start prepping to build this. So I'm marking where I'm going to drill on these pieces, and I'm going to install dowels in these holes. I'm trying to be really careful in lining up the pieces so the holes line up properly and everything fits together. I measured across both axes to make sure that I am right in the middle of the piece. And then I've just gotta rinse and repeat that across all 4 pieces. Now when I start drilling, I start with a small drill bit, and then I gradually go a little bit bigger until I get to my desired size. That way I can start from a really accurate point. Gradually cutting that hole bigger reduces tear out, makes it a little bit easier for me to build. Inserting the dowels here. Now these 2 spots don't have any backing, and you can tell because the drill bit just drops down super fast like that. This one did have the proper backing, and you can see the drill bit cut through the material a little bit slower. And a bit more drilling. And here I am drilling holes in the vertical pieces. So I started installing the pieces, and then I realized that I should really cut them a little bit shorter because they're hanging off of the back of the desk. So basically I had them cut to 9 inches long. And when I cut these by hand, I got pretty close, within a couple millimeters of each other, but it wasn't exactly perfectly even. So I got some help from one of my neighbors who has a table saw, and he's really good at cutting stuff really accurately. So we got the pieces totally uniform, and we chopped them down to that 9-inch mark, and then that way I have a little bit of space behind the desk to run cables and stuff. I'm using a rafter square just to ensure that my verticals are actually vertical and square. Also, fun fact about the material that I'm using, this is actually supposed to be closet shelving, and I am repurposing it for my own needs. Basically because it's black, it matches my desk close enough, and I think it'll do the job. I also added 2 more pieces to my verticals just to ensure that they get a little bit more side-to-side rigidity, because I don't want this thing collapsing. And just these 2-inch pieces seem to have done the job pretty good. It feels pretty sturdy. I made the entire length of the riser to be 66 inches, and that is to support 2 27-inch monitors, plus my small studio monitor speakers and the isolation platforms that they sit on, and some lamps, etc. Now, of course, I don't have both 27-inch monitors at this time, but I just wanted to kind of future-proof myself on that. I used dowels on the bottom and screws on the top. Initially, I was thinking of using dowels all around, but basically I thought about what if I want to redo this and maybe heighten it or lower it or something. So I wanted to make this all disassemblable. So I chose to just use screws on top. Now that's less clean looking. However, all the screws are covered up with equipment once I actually have all the stuff populated, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, I was able to finish my desk riser. So it is here, and essentially now I've just got to add all of my stuff to it. But I'm pretty stoked on how it's turned out. Both empty spaces on the left and right side of my desk now are 19 inches wide, so I can fit up to 3 rack units on each side if I so choose. Well, I built the riser and my desk space feels a lot more comfortable. Basically, everything just seems to work better. I'm not sitting at like a hunched over kind of posture to see the monitor clearly and well. And also the speakers being brought up closer to my ear level is really optimal. I can hear the high frequencies like perfectly mixed with everything, just how it's kind of supposed to be, as opposed to hearing it all off axis. And this is really useful for me because now my desk is more optimized for creating content, whether it is music, like recording and stuff, or creating videos like you're watching right now. Now, one big lesson that I learned from this whole process is basically the limitations of what I can do with a circular saw. Initially, when I bought the circular saw, I thought, oh, I can just kind of do anything with this, you know, basically just cut it by hand, get good, right? Now, in reality, I was off by a little bit of like, you know, a millimeter or two on each piece. They weren't totally perfect. So in order to get this thing totally perfect, I had to use a table saw. And basically that was just, you know, a limitation that I learned. So if you're trying to do like cabinet type work, that calls for things to be like really uniform and square, etc. Table saw is probably gonna be the best way to go. So thank you, Murray, for helping me with that. Now, at the end of the day, would I recommend doing a project like this? Basically, if you have a table saw or access to a table saw, I highly recommend it. There's different things that people can buy to get this kind of thing. Like you can get like $20 desk risers from Amazon, and those can kind of work. They'll get you, you know, up maybe 3.5, 4 inches. But this is 6 inches up. So I looked into it and I couldn't find a product that was quite right for me. So I decided that I would design and build my own solution. And so far it's been working out pretty well. I'm really happy I did this. However, I wish I'd done this sooner. It's such a simple kind of concept, but it makes a world of difference when you're listening to music or mixing a project. So that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, I encourage you to hit the like button, consider subscribing to my channel. I'm trying to grow this thing so I can, I don't know, continue to make more videos. I think that'll be really cool. But anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now, and thanks so much for watching this one. Catch you next time.